Look at that. Caught on a rose bush. So you hear the saying with poison ivy, leaves of 3, let it be. What if it's early in the season, it hasn't heated up yet? Don't walk this way, Jess. Yep. And so there isn't leaves on the trees yet, but we see this hairy vine. Something to watch out for. Leaves of 3, let it be. But if there's no leaves on the tree, you got to know the other indicators of the plant so that you're not touching poison ivy, poison oak, or whatever. I say that it's another hazard of initial site preparation. But I brought us over here because I wanted to talk about axes. And again, the intersection between bushcraft and survival skills and homesteading. And this tool particularly, the axe, right? We use it all the time to fell trees, we process firewood, and lots of things. But if we go back in time, before we had sawmills, they were used for even more. And when you look inside here, I want to show you the hand-hewn beams. Hand-hewing means that literally they had a round tree and took an axe and ran it down the side and chopped a flat board and flipped it over and did the same thing. So ultimately doing that with a straight-handled axe, you're going to be hitting your knuckles into that piece of wood. So inventors and crafty people started skewing their axe handles. You see, this one sticks to the right. This is like probably a couple 100-year-old Goshen German broadaxe that was found, or a similar styling of what we see all along the Appalachian Mountains. So it's throughout history, but there's new models too. It's the same things. This one's from Grimsfors Bruks, a high-quality Swedish manufacturer of axes. But this is a broadaxe that, again, we drop it just down and use the weight of the axe to cleave off sides. And when you look in here, I want you to see how those hand-hewn beams look. They don't make them like they used to because they took the whole village and everybody working together. This is extremely labor intensive to build these things. So when you look inside, look at the joinery, look at the log cabin style construction, and look how much time that somebody spent in putting this, which ultimately became a chicken lot. But I think it's really special, and I'm happy to have it on the property that we manage. But it's going to give us a job in saving these logs and seeing what we can build with them and getting value out that way. So I'm sitting on the side of a hand-dug well. This is something that you might find when you're doing your initial scouts of your home site or someplace that you're going to be doing survival skills. But it's really something to be careful. You don't want to be little Jimmy falling in this thing and not telling somebody where you're going to be. That's our first rule of both survival and homesteading. When I was looking at this place the other day, I had the thought to myself, man, if I fall in here, it's going to be at least 15, 24 hours before somebody comes and finds me. If the guys show up to the farm and I'm not there, it's common if I have a meeting in the morning, but if nobody's looking for me for 12 and I've been in there for 12 hours already, it's not a good spot to be. So the first rule of survival, always tell somebody where you're going, and in most cases, at least in North America, 72 hours provided that's met, someone's going to come looking for you. But be careful of this, and even sitting on here, this might not be great, but I wanted to talk about a method for finding how deep the water is. Sure, we can run a string in there and see what the water level's at, but remember in 7th grade where you talked about 9.8 meters per second squared? Run the timer on your iPhone as you drop this down. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. So let's say that's 2.5 seconds. Plug that into your formula. You know how deep it is. Who said you wouldn't use math? Homesteading is math, farming is math. All of the stuff that they taught you in school, it's important. Your teacher might not know anything, but the stuff they are telling you is important.